building. How you guys doing? All right. So I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit of boxing. First of all, I was listening to different people talk about boxing, and some of the stuff that they say sometimes I don't understand where they come from with their stuff. Um, one set of people is trying to tell me that Teofimo Lopez is a better boxer than Tank Davis. I think people get caught up in the knockouts that Tank Davis does. But Tank Davis is not just a knockout artist. I was listening to Sean Porter Way podcast, and they were saying the same thing. Tank is more than just a knockout artist. Tank can box. He can actually box. All right? And Tank's very good on the back foot. You're not going to hit Tank just like that. Okay? He gets under punches, he rolls punches, he rides punches, he blocks punches. All right? He slips under punches, and he counters with it. Okay? Tank is very, very gifted, very skilled fighter. He's gifted in terms of, very quick reaction time, very fast fighter. Now, what a lot of people don't understand, and I think some people agree with, but is Mario Barrios ain't no joke. Okay? Mario Barrios was able to pivot with Tank and keep himself in front of Tank and also keep that range. See, Barrios cut certain angles. Okay? So, and Tank trap sets, okay, to counterpunch you. Tank can fight going backwards, forwards, he can fight in the pocket, he can fight on the outside, and he can fight at mid range, he can fight deep in the pocket. Now, when you think of Teofimo Lopez, he does not bring all those things to the table. Teofimo Lopez best fights on the outside to mid range. He does not fight on the inside. He's not a good inside fighter. Okay. The other thing with Teo, you notice, is he's more vulnerable on the back foot than he is on the front foot. Keeps getting popped in the head because he doesn't mix his guards. He only has one kind of guard, which is the shell. He shells up, and that's it. So he gets caught with shots coming over the top of the shoulder. He gets caught with shots and hooks. That's how Lomachenko was able to really put uh, a surge on him in rounds 8, 9, and 10. All right? Even 11. Lomachenko was catching Teo a lot more because Teo was trying to fight off the back foot. Now, and Teo's been caught, with shots. Nakatani gave Teo a hard time. Long fighter because the right hand of Nakatani kept on hitting Teo over the top. Teo don't mix it up. That didn't happen with Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis was getting caught with shots all the time. Mario Barrios is a good fighter too, don't get me wrong. And Gervonta, when he figured out, because the game plan was to find out what Mario Barrios' power was like, he was very careful. He took his time and broke down Mario Barrios. Okay, Floyd wanted him to press a little bit more, but ultimately, in the end, Tank was able to get the knockout. But on top of that, he was able to also drop Mario Barrios twice in round 8. Mario Barrios, again, good defense, um, good timing, good speed, good placement. Um, Very good fighter. Good jab. He has a nice long jab. Good body punching. The problem with Mario Barrios, I think, when it came to Tank was experience, and as Virgil Hunter said, dealing with Tank's quickness, his speed. Um, he still wasn't ready for that. But he was hanging in there with Tank. He was hanging in there with Tank. He was doing his thing. Um, Caught him with a beautiful left hook in the, I think it was the 8th or 9th round. He caught him with a left hook. But even then, what I noticed was that Mario Barrios, uh, Tank rode that left hook kind of like Canelo style. He just kind of rode it and went that way. But even then, Mario Barrios, as good as he was, couldn't stop Tank from cutting the distance at certain points in time. Because again, Tank, he would use virtual distance, rock back. But you look where his lead foot is, he's right in the pocket there with Barrios. But he's kind of rocked back. And then he gets the counter Barrios with lead lefts and stuff. Once Tank hurt Barrios, though, he goes in for the kill. Barrios was, he got dropped the second time, but he didn't kept his composure, was able to slip and duck and deflect punches, catch and block punches and so on. And so Mario Barrios showed us he's a quality fighter, and he will beat a lot of 140 pounders. Okay, and he has good pop too. He has good power. So Tank can do all those things. Teofimo Lopez, he has vulnerabilities, right? One of them is he only uses the shell. He does not mix up other guards. Tank uses several other guards. Tank uses his size to his advantage, so he get undershots to come up and deal with his opponent. He's kind of serpentine in the way how he moves, kind of like Floyd and Roy Jones Jr. Again, Tank used to watch Floyd a lot, so there's aspects of Floyd in Tank's game. Um, and if you look at also the way how Tank was using precise footwork to walk to Mario Barrios, I thought it was really cool. Again, a la Floyd Mayweather, Canelo Alvarez, walking down the bigger fighter. There's a certain precise footwork you use, and Tank was using it. But still respecting distance and range and respecting Mario Barrios' power. And so he was able to chop him down. Now, with respect to Teofimo Lopez is an excellent fighter again, but there are holes in this game which I hope he's covering up and he's closing up. Like he should know how to infight. He doesn't really know how to infight. So that's a very important thing. The other thing I think with Teofimo Lopez is fighting going backwards because he's just using the shell alone. He's not using the high guard. He's not trying to pick off punches. Um, and he's not. He doesn't always respect distance and range. And the fact that he can't fight on the inside very, very well, all of those things kind of work to his disadvantage. All right. So those are things that Tio needs to work on in his game. Like I said, for Tank brings so much to the table. Tio's gifted like Tank, quick, powerful puncher. But at the same time, we saw Tank go up two weight classes and fight a very competent, very skilled, truly I think will become world champion again, Mario Barrios, and stop him. Okay, that's something Teofimo Lopez didn't do with Lomachenko, and Teofimo Lopez supposedly the bigger fighter. He's bigger guy than Tank, right? So I mean, the ability to do that, Teofimo Lopez never did that in his career. He's a career lightweight. You know, Tank is just showing that he has another gear, he has another level to his boxing. Of course, we wanted to see Tank face Tio, Devin, uh, the Four Horsemen, Devin, Ryan, those guys, and even Lomachenko, right? And I would love to see Teofimo Lopez, Tank face Lomachenko. And here's the thing: Lomachenko also fought over the weekend. Now, people are heaping praise on Lomachenko, and how Lomachenko should have done that to Teofimo Lopez, what he did to Nakatani. He was not going to be able to do that to Teofimo Lopez. Nakatani is a fighter who does not pivot very well. He fights off the front foot. Okay, he walk fighters down. He can fight a little bit off the back foot, but most of the time he don't pivot quickly enough to deal with a Lomachenko. Teofimo Lopez pivots, so when Lomachenko tries to go weak side, Tio's right there to light him up, right, with either the right uppercut or left hook, and that's the end of that. So Tio keeps in front of Lomachenko, and that's what would happen. And all you got to do is watch the 12th round. It would be a much more exciting fight, but I think Tio would knock out Lomachenko. That's what will eventually happen. And I believe that Tank would do the same, except it would be two southpaws facing each other. Tank again, lightning quick reflexes, got that pivot work on the drop of a dime. Pivot work's more important than explosive footwork, meaning quick feet to rapidly cover ground. You want to not cover ground in a straight line. You want to be able to cover off an angle. That's what we call special effects, leaping left hooks and stuff like that. Tank countered the jab of Mario Barrios with a leaping left hook, right? He hooked over Mario Barrios' jab. And that's some stuff that, man, that just, you got some gifting. And on top of that, the skills to do that. Skills pay the bills. So Teofimo Lopez can do those kind of things. But Tank takes it to another level. Think about this. Tank didn't have the great reach. Tank didn't have the height advantage. Okay? And Mario Barrios had all those things. And Tank still knocked out Mario Barrios. Okay? Same thing with Lomachenko. He didn't have the reach. He didn't have the height with Nakatani. But Nakatani, much more basic, tougher guy. Get dropped a lot of times. He's just tough. Comes back, right? Um, and Lomachenko was able to beat Nakatani because Nakatani couldn't keep up with the pivot work of Lomachenko. Okay? It's basically like Nicholas Walters and like a lot of other opponents. Even Jorge Linares couldn't keep up with the pivot work of Lomachenko. Whereas Teofimo Lopez could because he was circling Lomachenko a certain way. He was making sure Lomachenko respected his jab and his range and his reach, and he was using a certain type of footwork to be able to negate the angles that Lomachenko was trying to bring through. At least until around 8, 9, when he started to lay back and let Lomachenko come to him. You have to push the action and make Lomachenko back up. And as we could all see, Lomachenko doesn't do very well fighting backwards on the back foot. He has vulnerabilities with that. He has vulnerabilities when you meet him with weak side. You can counter him, and you can really stick it to him. So there's all of those things. How you circle is, I already break this down. So with respect to Lomachenko would get beat by Teofimo Lopez if they faced each other again, and probably even more brutally. Lopez probably would knock his ass out this time. And we might just get to see the rematch. So great. Bob Arum must be happy to have his in-house fights as usual. Everybody's, hitting flack of Floyd about in-house fights and in-house fights. Bob Arum been doing it for years, people. He's been doing it for years. So let's stop with the bullshit. All right. And nobody ever condemns Bob Arum, but they're ready to attack Al Heyman and Floyd Mayweather because they're black. Okay, this is what it is. But truth be told, and the Porter Wave podcast said it. I said part of it was Regis Prograis. I would love to see Regis Prograis versus Gervonta Tank Davis. That would be a good fight. Regis Prograis, I think, is arguably the best 140 pounder out there, even though he doesn't have the belt to show it. It's pretty much he and Just Taylor are the top two dogs. And I would love to see, Tank versus Josh Taylor or Tank versus Regis Prograis. At 140, those are the top guys. Regis Prograis is a different beast, but he does get hit. Tank is a beast. I would love to see those two in the ring. Okay. With respect to Josh Taylor, all of them are southpaws, by the way. So it'll be southpaw versus southpaw. Josh Taylor versus Tank would be also an awesome fight. That would be a mega fight because you're talking about a marquee name with a guy who's well accomplished, top dogs in the division. So I'm looking forward to seeing Regis Prograis versus Tank. That would be good. And of course, another fight that would be available via the PBC end is not Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor's, I think, associated with the top rank in ESPN, even though he's free to do whatever he wants to do. But Mikey Garcia, that would be a great fight, and they talked about that. I could think of some others from the PBC 140 pounders that you could check out that would be good fights for Tank as well. There's some other, not so well known names, but they're guys that have been there for a while, and you can check them out. But ultimately, in the end, I think that Tank needs to face, the 135 pounders if he can get back down to 135. Face those top dogs there, and if he wants to face the top dogs at 140, wherever he wants to be, is fine. He can go back down to 130 as well. They're top dogs down there, but just get a marquee name. I think that's my thing. I mean, Floyd's talking about carrying Tank in a different direction. I personally think that you want to accumulate a lot of money for this guy, but you want his legacy to be some solid names. Mario Barrios was a solid name, okay, solid name, but not well known. So he's not like a marquee name, and Tank needs a marquee name on his resume again. Leo Santa Cruz was a marquee name. Yurkus Gambo was a marquee name, and they need to get another marquee name for Tank or Test. And Regis Prograis is a marquee name. So that would be a great fight to see. Tank versus Regis Prograis would be a great fight. That's something that they could think about and discuss. With respect to people talking about Mayweather and Pacquiao, I keep on hearing this discussion, and it really annoys me when I hear people say Mayweather waited for Pacquiao to fade out. I never understood that. Honestly, I never understood that. I'm going to break this down for those people out there who keep on saying that nonsense, which is not true. First of all, how are you waiting for somebody and they're not accepting your offers? What do you do? You're not waiting on the guy. You make the offers. In 2010, Mayweather made an offer to Manny Pacquiao to fight him. And Pacquiao turned that down. Then in 2012, Mayweather made a second offer to Manny Pacquiao. And again, Pacquiao turned it down. Okay? He's not waiting on Pacquiao. He's trying to make the fight with Pacquiao. The third time was in 2015. Because after Pacquiao got knocked out by Marquez. Right? And he had to actually meet Pacquiao in person to make that fight happen. And he pursued Pacquiao in person. He went to Pacquiao's hotel, and that's where they started to draft out how they wanted to do this thing. It was independent of Bob Arum. Okay, so let's get this information correct. Mayweather didn't wait on Pacquiao for him to slow down. No, Mayweather was trying to make the fight since 2010. Pacquiao kept on not accepting it. It takes two to make a fight, two people to make a fight. And Pacquiao wasn't playing. Pacquiao goes to the media and say one thing, but in private, when dealing with Mayweather, he's doing another thing. Okay, and Bob Arum is always in the mix when it comes to fighters not facing other fighters. Bob Arum has blocked Terrence Crawford from facing Errol Spence. He is the impediment in the whole thing. Teofimo Lopez will not face Tank because of Bob Arum. When Bob Arum croaks and he's dead and Todd DeBuff can take over things, maybe we'll see something different. But until then, Bob Arum's top rank is run by Bob Arum, and Bob Arum is such an idiot that he blocks fights from happening. But you guys suck his. I mean, y'all so worship the guy that y'all can't see that he's screwing over boxing. He's the bad guy for boxing. Okay? Tyson Fury made that fight with Deontay Wilder, but Wilder wanted to face Fury and the rematch. And now Wilder faced Fury a third time. But Tyson Fury, though he's Bob Arum's in connection with Bob Arum, Tyson Fury has his own promotional company with Frank Warren in England. So it's a sort of contract on Tyson Fury's terms outside of England or UK. All right. Same thing with Josh Taylor, I think, working through Bob Arum. So all I'm saying is that these promoters be blocking stuff from happening. All right. Terrence Crawford would have long since faced Errol Spence if it wasn't for Bob Arum. If it wasn't for Bob Arum. All right. You know, so what I'm saying is Tank versus Tio would be a great fight. Tank versus Devin Haney would be a great fight. Tank versus Ryan Garcia would be a great fight. Of course, the bigger money making fights would be Ryan Garcia versus Tank. And what would be another bigger fight? Money making fight that pulls some dollars. You have to think about it, you know. Teofimo Lopez, I guess, versus Tank would make some money. Yeah. But Lopez is going to beat Lomachenko, and if they rematch, Lopez is going to beat Lomachenko, probably more emphatically now, because he knows what to do to beat Lomachenko. Now, there's nothing to Lomachenko to do to stop Lopez from beating him. All right? Anyways, people, that's what I got for now on what you need. Peacing out for the building. Charlo versus Castaño is a sleeper. That's going to be a fantastic fight. So guys, look out for that. As well as any questions you have for me, don't forget to put the questions on the channel. And that's about it for now, man. I'm going to tell you guys have a good night. And what you need, we'll be back with some more stuff soon. Oh, you can also donate to the channel via Western Union MoneyGram. Don't forget, this is a business. And thank you. Oh, by the way, thank you for the subscribers that have donated to my channel in absence. I didn't put out no video, and you guys have donated to my channel. Thank you so very much for that. Appreciate you guys. And we hopefully will keep on giving you guys updates when I can give you updates on different things happening in boxing. And boxing is interesting. People say boxing is dead. I don't understand what they're talking about because we got bare knuckle brawls going on. We now got TikTok versus YouTube going on. We got all kinds of boxing stuff going on, and I think that's great. It shows how much boxing people love boxing, and it's actually expanding to me more than contracting because I'm seeing a lot of boxing stuff. And it was really interesting. I accidentally put stuff about Tank on my other channel, my movie channel and my Christian channel. And I got out of Club Blue Sky. He knew who Tank was and everything. And Tank is doing a lot for boxing in and of itself as well. I just hope he stays dedicated. I was hearing another thing that Sean Porter said that I didn't agree with. He was saying how Tank, it looked like he was pacing himself, and stamina issues he still has. I don't think so. I think it's the same thing that Canelo's doing. Slow down the fight. I think Tank also was taking his time. Floyd told Tank to take his time, slow down the fight, so you can slow down your opponent and slow down the pace of the fight. So I think a lot of things people do not understand about boxing. Um, Canelo's doing the same thing. It's precise footwork for those people who don't know. You're putting your feet in a particular position where you're defensively minded. At the same time, you're also walking down your fighter. It's a lot of tricks and special effects that go into that actually, because you're cutting at an angle that your opponent thinks he can hit you with, but you're not there. And then the other thing is you're closer to him, virtual distance as you call it. You're closer to him than he thinks you are. And so there's all these little tricks of the trade that Canelo and Floyd and now Tank are using. Okay. Another thing I want to say is go back and watch the Floyd versus Logan Paul because I think Tank took it in as well, and that's what he used to walk down Mario Barrios. And he probably could have gotten Mario Barrios out of there sooner. Probably by the eighth round, he could have got him out. But to his credit, I gotta say, he took his time. He kept his composure. Mario Barrios too kept his composure, which I was very impressed with for such an inexperienced fighter. And both of them from Baltimore, and really, Tank really worked at getting back into control of the situation to be able to hurt Mario Barrios with that beautiful left. It was a trade. It was a catch and shoot. He caught Mario Barrios' right hook to the body, and then he came back with his right uppercut, left uppercut, sorry, to the body of Barrios, and he actually hurt him because he hit him with a liver shot on the inside of his shot that he threw to the body. Barrios was actually throwing some pretty good body punches coming down the later part of the fight, and the fight was pretty intense between the two of them as well. It was pretty good. It was a good fight. It was a good fight. Very good fight. Um, so that's what I got for you guys for now. What you need is out. I'm gonna catch you guys later. Peace.